So this is part 2 on the Garmin Vevosmart fitness band, and here's the app for Android. They do make one for iOS, but here's the one on Android. Here's what the interface looks like for the Vevosmart fitness band. As you can see, here's the layout. It does tell you how many steps you've taken, and it tells you your goal, because you can set a goal for it, and my goal is currently 10,000 steps a day. I try to reach a healthy 10,000 steps a day in my life. And then it also tells you how much sleep you've slept, and there's my sleep. I've slept 11 hours and 45 minutes last night, so there's how much sleep I've gotten. And it does also tell you how many active calories you're burning, because as you're sitting down or not even moving, you're still burning calories, so that's why it has that there. And my active calorie count is 128 calories, and it does also track how much food you've eaten. I have consumed only 164 calories for today, and I also burned 2,004 calories at the current moment. It tells you down there. So active calories, as you're sitting down, not moving, you're still burning calories a little bit. And then there's how much calories I burned through my exercises or through my moving. That's basically a total of your whole day. Sitting down, exercising, walking your normal day. That's how many calories I've currently burned, and that's how many calories I have consumed the whole entire day. Now, to be 100% honest with you guys, that's not actually accurate, due to the fact that it gets that information from another app called MyFitnessPal. That's one nice thing about the Garmin. I don't know with all Garmins, so don't quote me on that, but at least with the Vevosmart fitness band, you can connect it to MyFitnessPal app, and it will calculate how much calories you're intaking and things like that. If you want to know more, if you're really trying to lose weight and you're really trying to get fit and all that, it does work with the MyFitness app. And then there's other stuff in the menu as well. If you click on it, you can see more details. Like, here's more details about me, about my fitness and stuff. And you can go back between days. That's every day and stuff like that. As you can see, I'm really working hard. But anyway, there it is. You can go back as far. I think you can even go back months as well. You can go back months as well. And it does have a bar at the bottom. And that bar at the bottom does tell you when you really started exercising, what hour of the day you really started exercising, or you really started working out, or started walking more than other times of the day. As you can see, in the early morning of the day, I wasn't really working out that day. And then in the middle of the day, I started exercising, so the bar got super high. And then throughout the day, it got less and less. So it does tell you that as well. And that's the main menu, like I'm saying. And then there's other things in the menu. And another thing about this app as well, you can compete against other people. Now, I don't know if they're from your area or they're just random people, but if you go to leaderboards, you can actually see other people who have another Garmin device, and you can compete against them. It's just a little incentive Garmin put in there, just so it'll try to give you inspiration or get motivated or get moving to try to beat other people, so you can try to lose weight, get healthier, and all that. As you can see, for this week, I'm in last place. But for the most part, I usually hit first place on the leaderboard, because I am usually working out a lot and things like that. But there it is. This week has been kind of not so good for me. But this week, overall, I've hit, I think, 91,000 steps, I do believe. I can't quite see it on the video, but no, 81,000 steps. Excuse me. I have walked 81,000 steps this week. Overall, that's still very good, but if you compare it to a leaderboard, that's not so good at all. So there it is, leaderboards. And then you got calendar, newsfeed, insights, activity stats, health stats, gear. And you can also put your gear on there, like if you have like certain types of clothing. There's really not much to go into the gear, but you do got gear. You can track your gear, like your shoes, maybe like a hat you have or something. You can actually put it right there if you want to. You just go to plus, and then you say what type of gear you have, max distance, brand, model, cycling, hiking, running, swimming, walking, whatever type of brand you're using right there. So you can add gear right there. And then also, if you go into settings for the Garmin Vevosmart, or for the Garmin Connect app, you can actually customize your Vevosmart at least the Vevosmart fitness band, you can customize. I don't know about the other Garmin products or fitness bands, but this one in particular, you can customize it. So if you go to Vevosmart settings, I'm gonna go ahead and go to Vevosmart settings. Then I'm gonna go to display, home screen. Now what you've seen on my home screen, if I go back to the band, I'll go ahead and show you the band. But my home screen is just a clock and the date right there, like a traditional watch. But you can have it set up to where maybe the most important thing to you is going to be how many calories you burn throughout the day. Then you can have it set up to where the calories will always be first when you double tap the band. Or let's say you want to know how many steps you've run, it's more important than the clock or something, then you can always double tap it to where the main screen that comes on first will be how many steps you have run, how many steps you have taken throughout the day. And as you can see on the app, I do have time and date first, like a traditional clock. And then visible screens, you can also set up how many screens you have set up. So like when you're swiping through the band, you can have more screens come up, but I only have literally like 3, I think. So I have my clock, I have my notifications, I have calories burned, and I also have the steps taken, and that's how many screens I've set up on this band. I actually don't have a lot of screens set up on this band. And you can turn them off and on depending on how many you want. You can go as little as 1 if you want to. You can't go less than 1, but you can have up to 1 if you just want 1 on currently. That's how many I have set up. I have my calories and my notification, and of course I do have steps taken as well. I don't know why it's showing that, but I do have steps taken like I just showed you as a screen. But you can add as many or little as you can. One nice thing I did forget to mention about this is the orientation. You can have it set up like they're showing you on the app for orientation. So if you don't want it going sideways like this for your orientation, as soon as I double tap it, if you don't want it going like that, you can have it going up and down like that, so it will read up and down, but I prefer it like this just because I think it looks a little bit nicer. And that's how it comes out of the box. It does come set up like this. It doesn't come set up like that. I just think it's a little bit better. But I'll go ahead and show you what the other orientation looks like. I'll go back out. Settings saved successfully, so it should be changed when I get to the band. I think it takes a little bit to update the band right now. It's still showing it that it's side, but once it's once it syncs, then it automatically changes the orientation. So here's the new orientation. Like I said before, it's 410, but it just looks a little bit clunky to me, in my opinion. So I don't actually have the band set up like this. I have it going the other way. I'm gonna go ahead and change it back. Display, orientation. Then I'm going to go ahead and change it back. No, whoops. Go ahead and change it back to normal. Auto bright display. Auto on. Like I said, you can have auto on if you just want it on all the time. But I don't have that set up because I don't need it staying on all the time. That means it stays on 24/7. And one thing I did forget to mention about this fitness band is it's not waterproof, but it is water resistant. I can't highly say that again. I forgot to mention it is water resistant. So it's water resistant down to 50 meters, which I don't know how much that'd be in feet, but you can Google it, but it's 50 meters. That's what it says on the box. So I wouldn't really do any scuba diving, I don't think, with this or anything, but with light rain or sweat or taking a shower, you should be okay with this fitness band. Now, before I go ahead and wrap up the video, another con with this fitness band is that this fitness band, for some reason, it might just be this model, or it might just, no, it's not just mine, but it might just be this model. One thing with this model, at least, is you do have to have location services on your phone. You do have to have your GPS on. For some reason, every time I connect it, it always says Garmin Connect, trying to access your location. You have to have it on. At first, when I first got this fitness band, I actually thought this fitness band was busted because I was having Bluetooth connection problems where sometimes it would connect and sometimes it wouldn't connect. And then I figured out you need location services on at all time. Like for the initial setup, every time you connect, it'll ask you for location services on. So you turn on location services, and then basically what I would do is turn off location services, and the band would still work, but then it got kind of clunky. So you're going to have to leave location services on at all time with this fitness band, unfortunately. So if you're a little paranoid about people looking at your location or apps accessing your location, unfortunately with this band you do have to have location services on at all time. Like I said, after the initial setup, every time you connect it to your smartphone, you can turn off location services, but I warn you, it's going to get clunky in terms of the Bluetooth connection being stable. It's going to disconnect and random things like that. So for the most part, you're going to need location services on. For the most part, I did forget to talk about that at the beginning of the other part. That's one of the biggest cons in my opinion, how you have to have location services on. Now once again, don't quote me if you do need if all Garmin fitness bands need location services, but I know the Vevosmart does require that to be on at all times for a good solid connection for some reason. So don't quote me if the other ones don't need it, because I don't have another Garmin fitness band to compare it with. But anyway guys, that's just my my little look at the Garmin Vevosmart fitness band by Garmin. Anyway guys, peace out. I'll see you guys later in my next video. I'm out guys.